Hey everybody, it's Maria at Read, Create, Repeat Homeschool, and today I wanted to talk to you about some great two-player tabletop games. My husband and I really like playing games, and up until recently, the last couple of years, our kids weren't really game players yet. So either way, it's also nice to just have some downtime as a couple to do that. And I know it's more difficult to find tabletop games for two people if you are not familiar with it. So here's some of our favorites. If you have played them before, have questions, feel free to put something in the comments and I'll get back to you on it. I mentioned these before in our educational games, but the Timeline series by Asmodee, they also have some pop culture ones or music ones if you aren't into any sort of history or the like. It's really fun. You basically just try and use your cards to get rid of them to make a timeline as best you can. And it's really affordable. It's only about $10 and it's pretty portable. So if you're going camping or something, it's a great choice. The next one is called Struggle for Catan. And if you're familiar with Catan, basically there's several different expansions or versions where you have to use your resources to make your cities and settlements better. And in this version, it's 2 to 4 people. So we've actually played this with our kids as well. It works well as a 4-player game. You use your resource cards to make your cities better. And then also you can use them to buy extra cards in the game to give you special powers that the other people don't have. So it's really fun. If you like Catan, it's a really good choice. Again, this one's only I think it was $15 to $20, and it's also pretty portable. The next one is built just for 2 players, and it's called Lost Cities. This also got a lot of good reviews when I was scouting it out. Basically, the idea behind it, it's another card one, is you are trying to go on as many expeditions as you can and make your expeditions bigger to get extra points. So you can only do a certain number of expeditions because, as you obviously in a real life, if you spread yourself too thin, you're not going to be able to invest as much into one good one. So you kind of have a strategy component there. It's really fun. I don't think it takes too long. It's about 20 to 40 minutes is what it says, and that seems about right. It's also pretty compact. I think it was around $20, so it's another good choice. Next one is called Carcassonne, and this also works for more than 2 people, but it would be just as fine for a 2-player game. And this is the original version with a couple of expansions built in, although there's several different versions. If you want a different theme, go for it. This one, basically, it's a tile placement, and you're trying to, and you put worker tiles on top, or worker people, the meatballs. I always think it sounds like meatballs, so just you put your little people on your tiles to get points for how long your road is or how big your city is, and you're trying to close them off. So kind of the tiles, I will show you a little bit, is basically you've got, you can kind of see there's part of a city, there's part of a city, and you kind of connect them to make the different cities. So we like that one. Our kids really like that one. It's great for working on math with them if that's something you're into too, but it's really just a fun game and it can change a lot, and it works for more than 2 people as well. So that's around $20 if you are looking for that price range. I've seen it up to $30 with some of the bigger expansions, but yeah, again, it's a really good investment. This next one's a little bit more obscure, and it's 2 to 4 people as well. If you do 4 people, then you play on pairs. It's called Diminished Challenge, and it's tiles that, if you're familiar with Leonardo da Vinci, and I like history and art, so that's me. Basically, you're going to put different tiles to make these patterns, and there's like a diamond pattern, a triangle pattern, and you can try and block your opponent's patterns as well as build your own patterns. As you go through, you realize just how difficult it is you can't stop all the patterns from happening, so you really have to figure out what's worthwhile. And it's really kind of a relaxing game to play. It's not difficult. Kids could play this just fine too if you're a single parent with your kid and trying to come up with something for that. It's very playable and relaxing. So, and then the last one, my husband especially is a Lord of the Rings Tolkien geek, and we have the Fellowship of the Ring deck building game. This, again, does not have to be 2 players. We've played this up to 5 players, and our kids are addicts as well on this. if you're familiar with what a deck building game is, basically you have certain number of points that you can use each turn to accrue new cards that will give you points to get extra cards, and you want to end up with the most victory points at the end of the game. This line, they also have Two Towers version and they have Return of the King version. We have played all three versions. This is the one we own, and we bought the other two for our other sets of best friends, so we have access at any time to any of these versions we want. But we really have liked the Fellowship or the Return of the King the best. The Two Towers has kind of an extra component of breaching the tower, which gets a little complicated if you're not used to it. The art in here is very beautiful. It is associated with the movie, not the books. So if that's a bothersome thing to you, sorry. But any of the deck building games I would recommend going for. I know they have Marvel editions out, they have DC editions out. There's so many different versions. I've heard rumors of a Harry Potter edition for a deck building game. I'm hoping that actually comes into fruition. So anyway, those are some options for two-player games other than Scrabble, which is also a very good game. But I'd really recommend taking an evening off the TV and just sitting down with whoever's there with you and playing a game. You can have a lot of laughs and also, yeah, relax your brain a little bit. So hope that helped a little bit. If you have any questions, just put them below and I will feel glad to answer them. So thanks. Have a great day. Bye.